the driveway, it's a Saturday night. You look like $1,000,000 wearing that dress I like. You're smiling, but there's something missing in your eyes. Girl, I can.
Good morning and happy day one of the Owls. I am currently reading Heartless by Marissa Meyers, and it's going really well. I am only 20 pages into it, but I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm a big Alice in Wonderland fan. I love retellings. This one just brings all the different elements of Alice in Wonderland. The Cheshire Cat, the dodo birds, the flying rocking horses, the Red Queen, and everything into it. I was incorrect. I thought this was a retelling of Alice in Wonderland through the Queen's eyes, but this is actually the Queen's story. She's named Kath, and she is a talented baker who all she wants in life is to own a bake shop and be her own person, but her parents have different plans. She is engaged to the unmarried king of Wonderland, and in turn she accepts the marriage proposal, although she doesn't really want it, because she meets at the same ball a man named Jest, and through this they become in a secret courtship, and she's determined to make her own destiny and become the person she wants to be rather than who her parents want to be. And I'll be interested to see how that ties into going into Alice in Wonderland, because we do know in Alice, she is married to the king. She is the Queen of Hearts, and she is angry at the world, and I think this will give more of a semblance of why she's angry at the world. I have an idea of where this might go at the end, but I am enjoying it. I'm listening to it on both audiobook and reading it, because that's just how I usually read my books, but at the moment I'm really enjoying it, so I will check back in later. I'm getting a little bit of a late start because my dog, she was a wild fool last night and would not sleep, so I didn't get very much sleep. So I have my coffee, I have my oatmeal, and now I'm going to read and just hang out. I think a reading sprint started a little bit ago. I'm also wearing my Slytherin sweatshirt. Don't know how long that will last because it's been getting hot and hazy, but I have nothing better to do than read and complete my owls, so that's what we're gonna do today. I'm back again with another reading update. It's actually 9 o'clock now. My last update was about 3 p.m. I took a nap because I had a migraine. Good times. But I am 105 pages in. I'm on chapter 12, and I'm enjoying the story. I think that all the odes to the original Alice in Wonderland is fun. You know, the caterpillar who is a shoemaker, the cobbler, and he's the "who are you" kind of stuff. You have the wise raven, like a writing desk, Marianne, the white rabbit, you know, all the odes to this classic story that I love so much. My issue is I'm not attached to our main character, Catherine, or as she goes by, Kath, a lot, and I'm not invested in the romance yet. I see this flirtation between the Jest and Kath, but it's very much not a romance that I'm invested in. I'm hoping as the story goes on that I get more invested into it, but at the moment it's not there. The audiobook though, the narrator is a 10 out of 10. She does great voices and everything like that, and I'm reading as well. But I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this. Hopefully it picks up in the next couple chapters.
Have a drink, just relax, all your problems will fade. If you're ready for a good time, count on me. There's a party in the backyard, dance your problems away. I'm all about the good vibes. I know you're all about the good vibes.
Here's my nightly update. It is currently 11:33 at night. I'm 200 pages into Heartless, and I don't know how to feel about it. I think the issue is that I'm not invested in these characters. I really don't care what happens to either of them, and I've already figured out, or I think I figured out what happens at the end, because there's no way that Jess lives. I don't know if I'm right. I haven't looked at any spoilers or anything, but I think he's dead at the end, because if he's not dead, I mean, there's one other option, but I just feel like for her to turn into this Red Queen, evil, off with your head thing, she has to get her heart broken, and murder is like a great way to become this evil character that this character is always been. And I'm just not invested in the characters. I just met the Hatter in the story, and I'm always really invested in the Hatter in any story. I don't feel any urgency in Jess and Catherine's relationship. It's very innocent. There's nothing wrong with that, but I don't feel any tension between them. I don't feel anything that's like they have to be together, like, or they're gonna die. It's just very much vanilla for me, and I feel like when I'm almost halfway through a book, I should be invested in the characters. But yeah, that's my thoughts right now on Heartless. Right now it's like a 2.5, 3-star read for me, and I hope it gets better, because I was really looking forward to this book. I heard a lot of people talk about it and really liked this one. But I don't know. I'll continue to read, and I'll update you when I have more thoughts, or when I finish it, because I could very well finish this in the next day. So see you guys on day 2 of Owls, or maybe in a couple hours if I have some more thoughts. Hello, welcome to day 2 of the Owl Readathon. I haven't really updated you a lot today. I had a live stream with author Angela and to do some writing sprints, and I really haven't done anything. But last night I did finish Heartless by Marissa Meyers. It's a 3 out of 5-star read for me. I'm gonna do a whole wrap-up about my thoughts on my reads for the Owls, but I don't know. I really like Marissa Meyers' writing. I always have. I love her world building, but I wasn't really attached to these characters, and I thought they were kind of one-dimensional in my eyes. Didn't like the main character. And the ending was predictable. I predicted it. Maybe not for everyone, but for me it was predictable. It's not the worst read I've read, but it's not my favorite of Marissa Meyers. So I'm hoping with my next reads that I will feel a little bit better about where we're going. The next read is Love Letters from the Dead, and I will be starting that tonight when I get ready for bed. And I'm going to read maybe in bed, maybe I'll read a little bit outside with my dogs if they go and play, or I don't know where I'm going to read. But I'm going to start that today. Hopefully I can knock that one out by tomorrow or Wednesday. No, Saturday. I'm losing my mind. Hi. I wasn't going to update a lot on Love Letters to the Dead right now until I got like halfway through, but you can tell this was a early 2000s novel, probably 2010. I'm not sure when this was published. Oh no, this was published in 2014, so that makes it 10 times worse for me. They admitted that one of the girls was 15 in this book. She's either 15 or 16. She's young. She's a high schooler. And in the next scene, she's like, I'm fooling around with a college boy. I'm calling Chris Hansen. I just see so much wrong with this, and if I would have read this when I was younger, I would have been like, oh, it's like Arya and Ezra, and like, that is so wrong. That's very wrong, and I know that, even though I love those characters together, I know it's very problematic, but the show we're just not going to talk about my love for Pretty Little Liars. But I'm just like, why? Also, I didn't realize this was told all through letters. Like, every single part of the story is told through letters. So it's an interesting way to tell the story, but I can already see myself getting bored because it's told that way. And I hate to say that, but I don't know how I feel about this. Right now, I'm not really into the book, but I'm only 30 pages in, so hopefully it'll be better. It's a 323 page book, so maybe when I get 100 pages in, I will feel better about it. At the moment, I don't. Hi. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm not much farther into the love letters to the dead. I'm on page 62, and you can definitely tell this was written in the time of like 13 Reasons Why and If I Stay and all those really sad contemporary novels, because that just is the feel of this book. But I'm not enjoying my time. I don't like the main character. The way like the story is told is very interesting because it's told through all these letters she's writing, but everything is so jumbled and mishmashed. Like, she has friends, which is cool, and then she has this random boyfriend now, or boy she likes, and all of a sudden randomly he wants to take her on a drive, and I don't know, it's just one of those things that the story just feels very thrown together. It doesn't feel authentic. If I was reading this just on my own, I would DNF it, but because it is for the readathon, I have to trudge through and get through it, so hopefully I can do that soon, because I'm not enjoying my time with this. This is definitely a 2 or a 1-star read for me, and I don't see it getting better. There's this whole mystery about why the sister is dead and who or what happened to her, but it's very obvious that I think it's a car accident that happened, and she won't talk about it, but like, I don't understand how it, like, is it her fault? Is it not her fault? Are we gonna turn into this like raise your voice Hillary Duff moment? I mean, if they start breaking out into song like Hillary Duff's Raise Your Voice, I'm here for it, but at the moment it's just not my cup of tea. So I will update you hopefully when I'm done with this, because I'm ready to be over this book. Is there ever a book that you just want to gouge your eyes out with a rusty spoon because you hate it and you hate your time with it so much? Because that's me with Love Letters to the Dead. I hate being negative about books. I really do. It's one of my biggest things that I don't know how to do, and I can always find the good in books, but I haven't felt this way about a book since The 100 Lives of Lizzie Lovett, I think. I don't know, I'll put it on the screen. That book, oh my gosh, I wanted to throw it against the wall. And I regret putting this in the reading challenge, even though I thought I'd really like it. And I thought, you know, hey, this is something that even if I don't necessarily love it all the way, I'll like it some of the way. No. I'm hating it. I'm 44% into this according to Goodreads. I'm on page 150 and I just want to like burn it in a field. And it's nothing against the author. I think the author writes beautifully, and I just hate the characters, and I don't see the storyline. Like, the story just continues to get duller and duller, where all she's doing is hanging out with her friends and making out with this boy that she like barely knows, but has this secret that he went to her sister's high school and he's older, and the weird jailbait jokes just make me uncomfortable with one of the friends, and I'm not enjoying it. It's just not, it's one of those things that the character is so dull. And it's not even like in Heartless, where I just didn't connect with the characters and I thought they were flat and I thought they weren't very dimensional. I still enjoyed the story. The story was still interesting. This is like a 2-star read for me, like a 1.5, 2-star read. It's not anything I want to continue, but I have to continue it for the reading vlog, and that kind of sucks. I mean, the readathon, because I've just gotten to the point in my reading career where I will DNF books, but I can't put this in my unhaul pile that I have over there. I have some books that I'm gonna either give away or donate, or I don't know. This is not for me. I can very much tell it was written in that time of like the angsty teens, The Fault in Our Stars, If I Stay, 13 Reasons Why, all of those like angsty teen times, and it's just not hitting the mark for me. Welcome to my mess of a bookshelf. So I wanted to go over this reading vlog because I felt like where I left it off was kind of strange, obviously. So I wanted to go over the books. I'm gonna end up doing a full wrap-up of my owls at the end of the month when I finish them, but right now I just wanted to talk about the 2 books that are in this vlog. Let's start with Heartless. Heartless, I was disappointed in because I had very high expectations for it. I just didn't connect with the romance or the characters, but I did enjoy the little odes to the original story. I liked the world building. I thought it was interesting. The entire story was very predictable. We knew that Kath had to end up as the Red Queen, and I knew that it would be like that. I wish we saw her more as the Red Queen. Like it jumped forward into when Alice was there and she was more of the Red Queen. But overall, I gave this a 3 stars. It wasn't a horrible read. It wasn't a fantastic read for me. It was just in the meh area, and that's usually what my 3 stars mean. So I will keep this book. It's signed and personalized to me from Marissa. She is a wonderful human being and I love her very much. This is just not my favorite book by her, and that's okay. Let's talk about this one. Love Letters from the Dead by Ava Dellaria. As you can see in the... I'm gonna get comfy for this. As you can see in the video, I get progressively more angry at this book. And as I've said multiple times, I don't like to be negative. I don't like to rant and rave and want to toss a book against the wall, but sometimes that is what happens when you read a lot. I realized that maybe I was a little harsh with my wording. I do think that a lot of things in this book are problematic in their nature. Obviously, a 15-year-old with 20 to 30-year-old men is it's an issue, and also it's not really explored in the way that it says it's an issue. It's kind of glossed over, and she just kind of stops dating those men, which I didn't like in the end. I wanted there to be a lesson in that maybe that's not the best thing, because I feel like young readers, I don't know, I feel like when you're a teenager, you think older people are so cool and you want to be them and you want to date older guys in college. I just wanted there to be more of a lesson there. And then going on into other points I made, the whole Sky thing. I wasn't a big Sky and Laurel fan. They never had a connection to me. It just felt very forced in the romance, and it wasn't my favorite thing. Laurel as a character, she wasn't dynamic enough for me to latch onto, and each of the letters it was like one moment she was talking like a 12-year-old and a middle schooler, and the next minute she was talking like a 24-year-old philosophy major, and she had all of this whimsical and wonderful knowledge that she had. So it was a very inconsistent tone in the storytelling. Again, there was a point in the book where you do find out about her sister, and you do find out other things that happened that caused the death, or she thinks caused the death of her sister, and that, I don't want to say it was for shock value, but I feel like it wasn't seeded into this rest of the story enough. There wasn't enough mentions of her feeling the way she, I don't want to say should feel, or I don't know how to put it. It just wasn't foreshadowed enough for me to be on board that her actions met that trauma. If you know what I mean. Which I feel like everyone deals with trauma differently, but I don't know how to explain it. I feel like I should have known just a little bit in the back of my head that that was a possibility in the storyline, which there was no indicators in my mind that there was this going to happen. May's death obviously was a driving factor in her life, but other than that, I didn't think so. I think why I got so mad, particularly at this book, was because I have lived a lot of these experiences in this book. I've lost pretty much a sibling. I have lost a lot of people in my life. I have friends that are in the LGBTQ community that I went through similar situations that happened in this book with them. I have 2 older friends that I love to death, and I placed them in here, and I was just getting so frustrated with the portrayal of the situations, and I think it came from a place of anger of my own life and knowing that a lot of these things hit home. I think that's where my anger came from. So it's not a bad, like, my ranting isn't necessarily going off of the writing style or the characters. It's more of my own experiences in life that I feel like contributed into my review of this book, and that's okay. I think literature is something that you experience not only through a fantasy land, but also through the eyes of the main character and through your own experiences in life. And that's okay if I didn't feel like this represented those moments in my life and how they played out in my life well. If that makes any sense. I feel like I have to watch my words because I don't want anyone to get mad at me or twist my words into something that they're not. But I do think that this did come from a place of real life for me. The last thing I'm going to say about this is that I do think there's a lot of stuff packed in this book, in the storyline, but I don't think that the story cohesively went well together in my mind. I feel like for a 320 page book, or however, I think it's 323 or something, let's be exact, 327 page book, I don't feel like everything was fully fleshed out in the storyline, and that was also frustrating. So if you are going to read this, just know this is something that is very played off of Perks of Being a Wallflower, and it's a very, the early 2000 kind of genre, like I said, of If I Stay, Fault in Our Stars, what else? Just all the Falling into Place, those 2000s books that were very hard-hitting and emotional. But this one just didn't do it for me. I haven't had a book that has really done it to me like those ones I mentioned before. Those are my 2 books I read in this Owls vlog. The next vlog will include 2 other books. I plan to kind of just go through the Owls very nonchalantly. Right now, these are the 2 that I read. I hope the next vlog is more positive and upbeat. I am wearing my Luna shirt right now because I love her. But yeah, how are you doing on your Owls? Let me know down below. And I will see you next time in Wonderland, loves. Bye!